Hey YouTube friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is LaDonna. I'm a homeschooling mom of two, and on my channel I just like to share what we're learning, how we're growing, and what God is doing in our lives. And today's video is a part of an open collaboration. The collaboration is hosted by Abby from Rooted in Rest and Jessica from the Waldock Way. If you are unfamiliar with those two homeschooling mamas, I'm going to link their channels in the description box below, along with a playlist that is full of other videos just like this one. So the theme for this collaboration is Plan With Me. Now, I've kind of already talked about how I have our schedule planned for this homeschool year. However, what I would like to talk about with you is how I plan our poetry and tea time. I get not a lot of questions, but every couple of weeks I do get a question asked as to how I plan our tea time. Since we have started homeschooling, we only do a poetry and tea time twice a month. I do save them for Fridays because we have a looser schedule on Fridays, and it is how I like to end our day as well as our week. So what I'm going to share with you is how I plan them if I theme our poetry and tea time. I do not always plan a theme for our poetry and tea time. And I want to make sure I say that before I share any of these resources with you, because I don't want anybody to feel bad or to maybe feel like you're not doing enough. You need to know that I am not afraid to not have a planned or themed poetry and tea time. What I have right here is a basket. I don't even know if I can pick it up. It's so heavy. Oh, do you see this basket? This basket is full of our favorite poetry books. So when I do not have a poetry and tea time planned, we pull from this basket. I get like one of those cracker and cheese and deli meat snack trays from the Walmart, as well as, you know, some muffins or maybe something that I could bake really fast. I put that on the table. I always have tea on hand. You know, we grab our favorite books from this basket, and that is our unplanned poetry and tea time. So, Mom, if that is what you're doing an incredible job. I also think that those unplanned or those unthemed poetry and tea times are so necessary. They're necessary for us as the educator, and they're also necessary for our children and our family, just because they need to see that sometimes. You know, I don't want to give my children the wrong impression that things are always supposed to be, you know, elaborate. I don't know if that's the right word. That sometimes it's necessary for things to be scaled back, and there's beauty in that as well. So for when I do not plan a tea time, this is the basket that I use. These are the resources that I use, and I like to have at least one tea time a month that is unplanned. When I do plan a theme for our poetry and tea time, I always start with books. So I'm going to share some of the themes that we did last year with our poetry and tea time, and the books we used to go along with those. First, I want to share with you our first theme for our themed poetry and tea time last year. What we did was an apple theme. So all I did was I picked up a couple of books, inexpensive books off of Amazon. At that time, because of COVID, our library was completely shut down. Like, there was no curbside service or anything like that. So I did have to purchase these books. However, they were inexpensive. But as you can see right here, this one is How Do Apples Grow? This one is called Apples, and this is the new and updated version. I have apples and pumpkins, and I actually use this for the pumpkin theme as well, and How to Make an Apple Pie. Now, I know that these books all seem really young for my kids, but that does not bother me. My whole purpose for these themed poetry and tea times was to just create discussion and connection. So what I did was I got these books and we talked about the life cycle of an apple. I also used just a few printables that I got offline. I can't exactly remember what they were, but they were really simple. It was, discussing the life cycle of an apple, what did we learn and the different kinds of apples. And to reinforce this theme, not that same day, but later on, we did go to an apple orchard. So my kiddos really loved that, and this is what we did for that first theme. The second planned theme that we did for that year was a pumpkin theme, and I love pumpkins. There is a book that I'm going to leave out of this set intentionally, and I'll share that with you in a minute, but the few books that I have right here is From Seed to Pumpkin. So that was the first one. The next one is Pumpkin. This one is Pumpkin Countdown, and we've had this book for a long time. It's a Scholastic book. And this one is called Pumpkin Circle, The Story of a Garden. And again, just the same idea as the apple. We went through the life cycle of a pumpkin. I had a couple of worksheets and colored sheets on the table as well that we went through after our tea time and after our story time and just discussed the life cycle of a pumpkin. We did go to a pumpkin patch, and we also carved a pumpkin to just tie it all together. The last two themes that I did before Thanksgiving and Christmas, I'm just going to share them together, but the first one I did, we did a theme on bats. I picked up this National Geographic Kids. It's a level 2, and look, these little books are full of all kinds of information, and my kids, both of my kids, my son and my daughter, loved them. Again, I know it's a level 2, however, my purpose is not to intimidate them with the information. I just want to give them an introduction to the topic. So this was the first book, and then the second book was Bats Love the Night. And this is one of those, what is this called? Read and Wonder books. It's a part of that series. These are super cute. We really loved it as well. And the same thing, I had some color sheets and some workbooks, and then we also did like a little bat craft. So the next theme was owls. So again, I got a couple of books. I did pick up another one of those National Geographic books. This one is a level 1, and I think it was because that's all that they had, but you can still see it's full of information. This book is called Owl Babies, and this one is super cute. Both of my kids really enjoyed this. And then we had this book, it's just titled Owls. So same thing, I had a couple of worksheets. I don't think we did a craft with this. I think we just did a few of our worksheets and a color sheets, and that was it. So, okay, those are all of the themes that I did last year for poetry and tea time before Thanksgiving and Christmas. When Thanksgiving came around, we did a Thanksgiving theme, and really I actually used the week leading up to that tea time before Thanksgiving, I used the 5 in a Row mini unit that was based on the book Fry Bread, and this was just absolutely incredible. This book is incredible, and that 5 in a Row mini unit is incredible. I really don't know how to explain it. I feel like I'm not going to do it justice, but it really does celebrate, you know, just culture and family and food, and I just thought it was a beautiful way to tie up our week. So that is what I did leading up to tea time, and that last day for the mini unit, you know, of course we read the book again. I pulled in some other books, and we made fry bread together, and we had our tea time, and it was just really special. And then of course for Christmas, it was a Christmas themed poetry and tea time. Really, it was a birthday party for Jesus, and it was really special. Now that I've shared with you what we've done in the past, what am I going to do this year? I'm only going to share with you my plan for October. Again, we are only going to have 2 poetry and tea times, and the first one is going to be an unplanned poetry and tea time, and the second one will be a planned poetry and tea time theme. I am theming it all around pumpkins. Now, this book I'm going to share with you is like sacred in our house. We have had it for a very long time. If you've been around here, you've seen it a couple of times, and you know exactly what it is. Probably since David's first fall. You know, if it wasn't his first fall, it was his second fall, and he's 11 years old. We read it every year. It's just very special, and I love it. But anyway, what is it? It is the Pumpkin Patch Parable, and it is by Liz Curtis Higgs, and we love this book. She also has an Easter one that goes with it, but it is super special. So my plan is to create a tea time centered around just this book. I'm not going to pull in any other books because I really want to highlight the message of this book. I don't want to share it because I don't want to give it away, but I would definitely encourage you to check this book out. You will not regret it. You know, I do try to make some special treats. It is a themed poetry and tea time, so I'm going to make like some pumpkin muffins, and I'm going to make like a fall trail mix. We'll probably do like some kind of snack tray. I probably won't do any kind of pumpkin teas. My people just like a plain tea. And I picked up these super cute pumpkin plates. Now I don't pick up any cups because they love to use my cups. I know that that sounds so silly, but if any of you have seen my china cabinet, then you know what I'm talking about. All of my china and teacups are all mixed match, and I have collected that through the years, and they love it when I pull that out. Now I do have some plain ones that I'll use with these plates, but I just wanted to show you the plates that I picked up, the book that I'm going to use, and my plan is to as well carve a pumpkin again. I want to highlight what it means and how we can relate that to the Christian life, because in this book the farmer actually carves a pumpkin, so I think it would be a really great way for them to think about what that means within our own life. So that is my plan for our last poetry and tea time in the month of October. I do have our November poetry and tea times planned, and these are all of the books right here. I'm not going to go through them because I want to make a separate video for that. I will be using a guide for that as well. It is not a 5-in-a-row mini guide, it's a different guide, but again, I'll share more about that later on. However, I'm just super excited because I really want to hit on the Pilgrims and the Indians and the first Thanksgiving and what it means to be thankful. So I know that I just shared a lot. However, I hope it was helpful to you and for those of you who are just looking for some inspiration when it comes to poetry and tea time. This is what I do. This is our approach, and we love it. It works for us. So anyway, friends, this is what I have for you. Thanks for stopping by. And remember to check out that playlist in the description box below. I'll see you next time. Bye.